Today, we're diving into the story of how one mother's unbelievable loss took on the entire power of the state in India. We're going to unpack a landmark legal case that starts with a terrible accident, but ends up changing the law for absolutely everyone.
All right, let's get right into it. Now, our story doesn't start in some grand courtroom. Nope, it begins on a dark road in Delhi way back in 1951. And it's right here that a single tragic event kicks off a legal battle of monumental proportions. At the very heart of this tragedy is a young man named Shiam Narain Singh, whose promising life was about to be cut short in just an instant. So Shiam Narain was just 22 years old. He was a pilot officer with a permanent commission in the Indian Air Force, stationed out of Delhi. And you can just imagine he had this incredibly bright future ahead of him.
He was earning 527 rupees a month, and believe me, that was a pretty significant income back then. He was using it to help support his family. And this detail, it's actually really important because it underscores the profound financial blow his family was about to suffer. Then, one evening, around 8 o'clock, everything just changes. As he's riding his motorcycle, an Air Force truck makes this sudden premature turn right into his path. The collision was devastating, and just 2 hours later, Shiam Narain Singh was gone. In the wake of this unimaginable loss, his mother, Satyawati Devi, decided to sue the government for damages. But she wasn't just up against a driver, she was up against this incredibly powerful legal barrier. So what was this barrier? It's a concept called sovereign immunity. To put it simply, it's a legal shield. It basically says you can't sue the government for things that go wrong while it's performing its official state-level duties. And that is exactly what the government argued. They claimed that because the truck driver was on an official duty run, he was transporting a sports team, the state was totally immune, no lawsuit possible.
So this set the stage for a classic David and Goliath courtroom showdown, a grieving mother fighting for justice against the full legal might of the Union of India.
This slide really boils the whole thing down perfectly. On one side, the argument is pretty straightforward, right? The driver was negligent, so his employer, in this case the government, is responsible. But on the other side, the government is claiming special protection, arguing this was all part of a quote-unquote sovereign function.
And this is the question the entire case hinged on. Was driving a military truck to take a sports team somewhere really an act that only a state can perform, like policing or going to war? Or was it something, well, a lot more ordinary?
It took 16 years, 16 long years. But in 1967, the Delhi High Court finally delivered its verdict. And let me tell you, this decision would echo through Indian law for decades to come.
The court sided with Satyawati Devi. It was a massive victory. They overturned the initial dismissal and actually held the state accountable.
So how did they get there? Well, this slide shows the court's crystal clear logic. First, the facts. The driver was obviously negligent. No question. But then came the game-changing legal distinction. Transporting a sports team is just a routine task. It's not some special sovereign power. And from there, the conclusion was simple. The government could not hide behind the shield of sovereign immunity. Ultimately, the court held the Union of India responsible for what its employee did, just like any other employer would be. It ordered them to pay 25,000 rupees in damages to the family, finally bringing some measure of justice. So why is this case still so important today? Let's dig into the legacy and see how this one mother's incredible fight for justice helped redraw the line between the power of the state and the rights of its citizens. This case created a vital distinction in Indian law. You have sovereign functions, the big stuff that only a state can do, like making laws or defending the country. For those, the state is protected. But then you have all the non-sovereign functions, the routine, administrative, day-to-day activities. And for those, the state is liable for its mistakes. What this really means is that the ruling put a major limit on sovereign immunity. It sent a clear message. When the government is just doing ordinary, everyday things, it can be held accountable, just like you or me. The legacy of Satyawati Devi's long, hard fight leaves us with this powerful question, one that is still so relevant today. It really challenges all of us to constantly examine where the power of the state ends and where its responsibility to its own people begins.